Hi. It's me. We're back. It is June 7th. I've traveled in time once again to bring you... Rhodia, shutting up, please. To bring you yet another new target extraction for Limbus Company. It's actually been, like, the entirety of Chapter 4 exists, kind of. Not really, it's a lie. But yeah, there's a new... I need her to stop talking, for the love of God. There's a new target extraction, and the next 20 levels of the Battle Pass have unlocked. I do, in fact, have everything from before now. I also have these three, so let me just go ahead and claim those, because I might as well, right? Yeah, we've got a new target extraction to go over. I think it's technically Rosespanner banner number 2. But the 3-star isn't from Rosespanner, but we've got some new stuff in the Battle Pass that I want to take a look at, because I honestly don't know what they're putting in next. So, here, AEDD, I believe that's Heathcliff. It is a Teth, thank God, because that was one thing I was worried about. 22 to 29? That's really good. It's a 3 Gloom, 2 Envy. This is for the electric centipede thing, which is a really cool abnormality. Before attack, gain +1 charge count for every 10% of missing HP up to 7. Wow, that's underwhelming. Gain 2 haste next turn, that's way more important. On hit, inflict 3 paralyze and 1 gloom fragility. That is current turn. I mean, it's okay. It's definitely got a really reliable roll on it. It has Gloom Fragility and it has Haste. Those are the important things. A lot of Paralyze, but the Paralyze is only going to matter if you go first in the turn, because this is current turn effects. Gaining charge count based on missing HP, you don't want to have missing HP. So if you're getting this effect, it's kind of not a good thing. But I guess it doesn't really matter for Heathcliff, because the only charge thing he has is R-Corp, which doesn't ever spend any. So that's okay. The growth isn't amazing. It could definitely be better, but it is Blood Gloom. Alright, the Corrosion, 29 to 22. It's just the same thing again. Targets randomly, same effect. On hit, spend all charge count to deal bonus gloom damage by charge count times 2.5% of damage dealt. What? So, after the attack, lose 10% of max HP to gain +10 charge count if hits tails. That's... okay, first off, I'm not going to get upset at this effect yet, and the reason I'm not is because I know what identity got added. So the tails hit is actually significant. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that that's going to be important. In order to use this corrosion, you need 5 gloom, 3 envy, I believe, which is an 8 cost. That's not too bad, and these are pretty easy to generate with the stuff we've been getting so far this season. So first off, you're never gonna have 20 charge when you use this, because unless you're playing Rabbit Heathcliff, who doesn't generate these gloom anyways. Oh, apologies for the yawn. It's very late. You're gonna have the envy, you're not gonna have the gloom from Rabbit Heathcliff, so you need a team that can support that. But Rabbit is the only one that can actually generate the charge passively without this. So, I mean, it's a low HP thing, which sucks, but at the same time, I know we just got a negative coin identity for him. So this is probably good? I don't know, we'll have to see. I'll try to use it eventually. Passives. When hit, spend 1 charge count to heal 2.5% of max HP. At less than 40% HP, gain 1 charge count before activating the healing effect. Can go up to 10 charge count per turn. What? This is completely the opposite of what you would want. This is when you're hit, I'm assuming, the way it's phrased. So you spend 1 charge count after getting hit to heal a little bit. And when you're below 40%, you don't spend the charge effectively. And that can trigger up to... The gain 1 charge part can trigger up to 10 times per turn. I don't know what scenario you would be in where you could live 10 attacks in a single turn, but I guess that's a thing. I don't know, it seems just okay. It's a Teth Ego for Heath, which is obviously something we don't have, and the 2 things you need for it are pretty common right now. It's okay. Filling in the slot is nice, and the Gloom Fragility is nice. And I just realized, it doesn't inflict the Gloom Fragility or the Paralyze on the Corrosion. Huh. Okay. I can see that being useful with the new identity, perhaps. I haven't actually looked at the new identity, though, so we'll see. What's next? Oh, Sunshower. I was expecting a different thing. What is this? Is this a new... Oh, this is a new ego background for the friend code thing. It's a new set of colors based on K-Corp, I think. I'm glad that we're getting some of these, because I was really worried that they were going to add that and then never add anything for it. Rhodia's at 35, by the way. But I'm super happy that we're getting these, even though the friend code ticket isn't really that important. But anyways... This is Sunshower for Otis, another Teth Ego for Otis. She already has 2, doesn't she? She has Yasunyata and... I'm almost 100% certain she has another one. Hold on, I can't remember what it is because it's probably bad. No, she doesn't. Okay, well, at least there's that. Shut up, Rhodia. Alright, let's see what this does. It's Gluttony? Holy crap, that roll. 2 Sloth, 2 Gluttony, 1 Gloom. So it's another one that takes a lot of stuff, but not very much of each. 26 to 33 with 0.74 count, or growth. That is really high of a roll. I know it's Pierce, but that's a really high roll. Good God. Before attack, gain +6 poise count. This makes it look like you want to be using this with, Blade Lineage Otis, which is not a good identity. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not good. But poise count isn't something we've seen on an ego, to my knowledge. On hit, inflict 4 sinking. On hit, inflict 2 bind next turn. On crit, burst tremor and inflict 2 sinking count. I don't know what the exact... The problem is, this is poise count, it's not poise. So, if you have 6 poise count, you technically don't have any more chance to gain crit, to land a crit. But it's interesting that it's crit-based. What this just rolls worse. Hold on. That's a 26 to 33. This is a 29 to 22. I feel like this number is not supposed to be this high. I'm not sure, though. The growth is the same as well. Targets the unit with the least HP, gain +7 poise count. Inflict 4 sinking, 4 rupture, 2 bind next turn, on crit, burst tremor, inflict 2 sinking count, and rupture count. So the theme of today is sinking and rupture, I see. This is bad. So, yeah, this is just worse than the Awakening. I don't know what else I'm gonna say about that. The Rupture is the only reason you would use this, and that's +4 damage. That's not really that necessary. It's cool to see sinking support. After Clash, gain 2 poise. When staggered, gain 2 protection. When recovering from stagger, gain 5 poise. So that's how you're meant to use it then. You want to Clash, and that'll give you your poise. But at the same time, you want to be able to spam this. And to be fair, it is the 2 most spammable types, being Gluttony and Sloth. So I guess that's fine. 7 Otis generates both of these, and you would just need 1 unit that uses Gloom in order to be able to spam this pretty well. So honestly, this isn't that bad. I wish it wasn't poise-based. We're getting a lot of stuff that bursts Tremor, but this is interesting in that it's burst Tremor on crit. The on-crit effect is the worst effect here. just because crits are not that reliable in this game, unfortunately. But I can see the usefulness. It's just a really high-rolling single-target ego, and I can't really complain about that. All right. Let me open these, because they're random anyways. Now, the real creme de la crop. I like how we still have these, by the way. Creme de la meme. We have Lobotomy, Ego, Sunshower, Heathcliff, and Rosespanner Workshop Fixer Gregor. Starting with the Rosespanner Workshop Fixer Greg, because he's the one everybody's going to get. Rev up. Gluttony, that's very low growth. 3 to 11 is good. On use, gain 2 charge count. On hit, inflict 2 rupture. 2 charge count, we know from W Corp Faust, is not enough. He's got a very consistent neutral speed, but 2 charge count is not enough. We know this by now. Skill 2, Grease Chains. This is 4 to 16 with 1 coin. On use, gain 3 charge count. On hit, inflict 2 tremor count. On hit, inflict 1 rupture count. So this was a big thing I noticed in the teaser, was that he's a lot more rupture than he is tremor, but he can work with tremor at least. Gluttony, Envy, Gloom is an interesting set. This skill is very meh. It's like Upper Slash. Upper Slash is good once you're at high sanity, but before then it's kind of crap. Also, this is not very much charge. What does he use charge for? Let's grind him 4 to 13. Ugh. Ugh. I hate that roll range. That's the same roll range as Quake Rounds, for those who don't realize. And Quake Rounds is very good. On hit, burst tremor, then reduce tremor count by 2. Spend up to 4 charge to inflict rupture count equal to charge count spent. So it's up to 4 charge. It spends all of it if you have less than 4, and that's inflicts rupture count. On hit, inflict 1 rupture, deal 10% more damage if target is staggered. On hit, inflict 1 rupture, deal 10% more damage if target is staggered. So it's rupture. It's very little rupture, but being able to build towards rupture is cool. Guard doesn't matter because it has nothing on it. Passive Sawblade fired up. 4 Gluttony owned. Inflict +1 rupture to targets with tremor. So you do want to run him with the tremor build. And Sawblade maintenance, 4 Gluttony owned. 1 ally with the lowest speed inflicts +1 rupture to targets with tremor. This feels like you have to run it with the other Rosespanner people, in all honesty. And it does generate the colors that they want. If you're running Pursuance and Rhymeshank, you do get the colors that you want for those. But, like, it's not much. You can inflict rupture count very consistently, but aside from that, what are you doing? I feel like this is another Greg identity that's 2-star that's just kind of underwhelming, like Sous Chef Greg. But I can't really be that angry at it, because at least it fits with the build, right? Okay, that's him covered. He's nothing special. He was never going to be anything special. The real notice here is Heathcliff's new identity. Ew. Ew. Ew, that is gross. Oh my god. Okay. So for those who don't know, I saw that he had a 3-coin first skill, and I'm like, this has got to be terrible, right? And this roll range is garbage. 6 to 0? Are you kidding me? That's one of the worst roll ranges. That is the worst roll range in the game. I'm not even going to pretend like it isn't. He has a ton of health. But that is the single worst roll range in the entire game. Very cool. That is not what I was expecting to see today. I guess he kind of deserves it. Sinclair was way too strong when they introduced him. When hit by an attack, take fixed SP damage by the effect's potency. This is a problem. Okay, so the skill 2 doesn't do this. So This is a negative coin identity. And the way he generates reducing sanity is by inflicting himself with sinking. One sinking is one sanity down. That is not enough. But I assume he's going to have more stuff for that. On hit, inflict 2 sinking. Tails hit, inflict +2 sinking count. So this is the first idea that leans very, very heavily into inflicting sinking. We've had a couple that have it in their kit, like Mariachi Sinclair, G. Otis, R. Ishmael, but none of them have really had a skill. Also, this is only coin 3, which kind of sucks. But this is the first identity we have that actually leans very heavily into inflicting it. Skill 2. Oh my god, that's a 10-0. At least this one has 4 coins, so it can do very decent damage. The growth got higher. It went up by 0.5. When below, minus 15 SP, final power +2. Okay, so 12-0. At least it's 4 coins, I guess. Second and third coins inflict 3 rupture on Tails hit. Fourth coin spends 5 sinking to deal plus 20% damage and burst tremor on a Tails hit. Where are you getting the sinking from? Is my question. Because this is sinking count, that's not sinking. I guess it could go by the count, it's not worded greatly. And skill 3 is an 18-0. On use gains 6 sinking and +3 sinking count. Okay, that's where you're getting it from. First die, Tails hit inflicts 1 paralysis next turn. That's very decent. Third coin is on hit inflict 5 rupture. Tails hit inflict 1 fragile next turn. This can't be as bad as it looks, right? Because this can roll 18 3 times. And to be fair, an 11 minimum roll is very good. Like, if you flip heads, then the roll here is 11, if you only have 1 coin left. Not that that's great, but there's gotta be something that I'm not seeing here that makes this better. There just has to be. This is a 10-0 counter. It's got its highest growth rank. On use, gain 3 sinking. Tails hit, gain 1 paralysis. Oh! I see. Gain 1 paralysis next turn. On hit, inflict 5 sinking and 5 rupture. First counter with 2 dice. Or 2 coins. It's Wrath for some reason. Gain 1 paralysis. That is not something we've seen before, and that will guarantee Tails being flipped, to be fair. It doesn't save skill 1. All of these skills can roll 0. Good god. I mean, this one's a counter, so it's at least always gonna hit something, right? Oh, what does this passive do? 3 envy owned. At the start of the combat phase, spend 1 sinking count and lose SP by the current amount of sinking. Before being hit by an attack, gain protection equal to this unit's sinking. Up to 5 protection can be gained per turn. And 1 hit, gain blunt damage up next turn up to 3 times. That's a lot of things. And does it save it? It really depends on how often you can use spread out, I suppose. Because you want to be on low sanity. And again, the only thing that actually is in here that decreases your sanity is being hit while you have sinking. So after 1 use of spread out, you will lose 6 sanity at the start of the turn at the cost of 1 sinking count. There has to be something I'm missing. What's his Support passive. 3 envy owned, 1 ally with the least SP loses 10 SP when hit by an attack and gains +1 blunt damage next turn. That's just helps Sinclair. Nobody else really takes advantage of that. And it's only 10%, because it's once per turn, but the real draw is that you lose SP on Sinclair. Yeah, I need to see this in practice. There's no way this is as bad as it looks. Because this, skill 1, is... I've said it before, alright? N. Sinclair is a fantastic ID with one of the worst skill 1s in the game. This is worse than that. I mean, seriously, a skill with a max roll of 6 is just not good. And yeah, the other ones could theoretically do a lot of damage if they keep rolling tails, but they have to keep rolling tails. And you don't have any way to lose sanity. You're gonna win your first clash with spread out, and then suddenly you're at 10 sanity, and it's just gonna snowball from there. You have to use warning for this set to work. Alright, I'm still gonna roll for it. Alright, how much am I willing to spend? I think I'm willing to spend 6,000. So going down to where free says below 6k is what I say my limit is for this. And then I'll just use crates. Alright, well it looks like we got Gregor. What's the 3-star? I'm glad to have the Gregor. What's the 3-star? It's Ishmael. Okay. Fair enough. I didn't want that, for the record. Nothing in that one. Okay. We're getting a lot of ego shards for Sinclair back, which I guess is good, because I am a little lower on ego shards now that the new season has started. That's a lot of 2-stars. Oh, there's another 3-star. $30 pulls. That's what it took. I mean, technically 34, but let's not count those. Alright, well, we got it. I have over 2,000 thread. Good lord.
나 이곳에 계속 붙어 있을 생각은 아니었는데 책임져 주는 거야?
Ah! Sounds of a chainsaw rumbling and roaring. Ugh. Sounds of a person's limbs being cut, hurried footsteps making an escape, and another pair of feet following them. This is how the child's outdoor work always looks. He takes care of wet jobs for his office, and goes on to handle the next one. Bah, why is this thing so sluggish now? Help! Oh, there we go. Doesn't look like a scene too pleasing to keep watching, right? Here, mister, a coffee for you. Well, I'll be. Thanks a bunch. Once he returns to the office after a hard day at work, the child always does the same thing in the same spot. Holding a cup of cheap instant coffee in one hand, he smokes cigarettes until his fatigue yields and goes away. No creamer, huh? You really care. I've been making coffee for you for months now. How can I forget what you don't want? Chatting up, the employee who brought the coffee to the child lit their own cigarette. Done with today's work? No. Let's see. I got 2 jobs done at once earlier today, so there'll be some rest for me if I handle one early in the morning and one at daybreak. Oh my, you sure you don't need to take it easy? I gotta work hard to earn a lot. There's a fella who works overtime every day too, no? At least he mostly does paperwork. Talking about Marcel. The child exhales cigarette smoke. making a bitter smile. As the employee said, the child was aware that fatigue was wearing his body down with each passing day. He's human, after all. But the child has a dream. If I'm gonna make a machine that Trace will approve, it'll cost a fortune. You're still at it, mister? Of course I am, bud. Can't stay in this vicious workshop till I die now, can I? Gotta make my own workshop product and stand on my own, isn't that right? The child shook his arm with the coffee a little. Sometimes it's a chainsaw, sometimes a dagger, and other times a flamethrower. That arm was his own machine the child has been preparing. Though the child has been working himself to the bones as he didn't have the funds to apply for an approval or mass produce the arm, he felt he was still fortunate. If even the gear he's been tinkering with all by himself required an approval, he'd have had to forfeit his dream. Alright, stay safe out there. You know you're the one that keeps our office running, right, mister? The child would only snuff out his cigarette with a snicker. He had no need to answer. Whether it was true or not, it didn't change the fact that it was time for him to get busy. Alright, so Greg isn't really an in guy with his Rosespanner. He's just doing it to make money to start his own workshop. Somehow, that doesn't surprise me, actually. Oh my god. The first skill was a 4-0 before I uptied him. Oh my lord. There's something wrong with this. There has to be. This has to be better than I think it is. When they revealed N-Corp Sinclair, I was misreading it, saying it was probably... No, I thought N-Corp Sinclair was gotta be good. There's no way I'm misreading this so bad. Right? At least the story's probably gonna be good. My colleagues have died. 3, 5, maybe 6. The number doesn't matter anymore. They were all killed by those wretched new technologies that won't stop springing up. One lost their job and starved, one got their flesh taken apart, others worked like cogs in the machine, treated like subhuman junk. They were all diligent chums. I was thankful that they were good to a bloke like me. Of course, I never showed it. I was one lucky bugger. At least I didn't get swept up by rushing waves of technology and die. He's a member of the Technology Liberation Alliance. Oh boy, I can't wait to play the story of this chapter. I ran off and roamed the back streets like a thrown-away umbrella until they took me in. But I guess I didn't deserve them after all. In the end, they'd all go away, like wet paper being torn away. And the regret and shame I felt as I watched it all happen had my anger boiling. Maybe, if technology didn't exist as they said, I could have been laughing and fooling around at a backstreets pub with chums that could have been alive. So I decided to get as serious as I could be and ravage all I can this time for sure. They work on science and technology to make life comfortable. Those things end up taking lives. That's why I started thinking that things like those shouldn't have existed in the first place. Us survivors dug into the rotten remains of a fallen wing that once stood at the top of technological progress and put on what they called ego, products of technology we detested. It's ridiculous to think that technology would have a mind, but it seems like this thing does. As soon as I wore this thing, cold and dark feelings rushed into my heart. An endless swirl of gloom wrapped around me, but as it did, I got the feeling that maybe this thing was like me. Maybe, just like I did in the past. This thing once had a friend, but got driven out and abandoned. Thinking like that, it gave me motivation to fight. It helped me take down all the crooks trying to protect their damn technology and drown it all so they'd never see the light of day again. That's not gonna bring my colleagues back from the dead, of course. At least I'll reduce the number of people that'll end up like us a fair bit. But when I'm done, the chill reminds me that I'm alone. I go back to wandering damp, dark alleys. Now I can hardly sleep anywhere else. Damn it, maybe this ego thing will do me in one day, like how technology doomed all my mates. What a farce that'd be. Whatever. Thinking more won't give me any answers. Once I'm done with this job, I'll go back with pride. Once the new world is made, I'll have another chance. You leave now. Don't try and give me attention. I have no friends left now. That's sad, dude. Also makes me very scared for the latter half of this chapter. Alright, this has to go to level 35 because it's a negative identity. That's so many gold tickets. Alright, time to test this out. Oh yeah, I get to talk about this now. So the order you select your sinners in matters now. It gives you dice in the order that you select them. So Heathcliff will be the first one to get a second coin, or a second die. So we want to pick this in a way that the people that deal the most damage get their dice the fastest. So those three first. And let's go. We're gonna just see how this ID works. And see if it's any good. It does, I think, generate most of the stuff you need for telepole, if that's any consolation. I don't know if it is. Yeah, see, here's the problem. I'm not gaining any way to do Tails coins. This is neutral no matter what. Both are struggling. They're going to be struggling no matter what, because it's going by what lands heads. I'll still try it. Something tells me that that's not going to hit. Okay, that guy's dead. That's not a surprise at all. Puddle Stomp is rolling heads too much. Like, it looks like he does decent enough damage overall. But I feel like countering is going to help me more. I have no idea how this is meant to work. That's good. 1! My guy, please stop getting sanity. Okay. This is going to be very, very weird. Also, I'm not generating anything because I'm not, my counter's not gone off yet. There we go. Alright, buddy, you asked for it. Why did that roll 8 and 3? It also did a lot of damage, actually. I need to get hit again, but I can't. So, I guess we just let Greg get the kill, then? At least, I didn't want Sinclair to get the kill. At least, I didn't equip any ego. That's fine. I'd rather see if I can't show this off. I have no idea what I was about to say. This is such a weird identity. And everything is hopeless. He can't outroll anything because he always flips heads. He's actually pretty close to 0 sanity. The problem is... I don't know, dude. I have no idea. It's so strange. So that did almost nothing to me. Have a warning. 28. Man. This is, yeah, I think I'm gonna need that new Battle Pass ego exclusively because he can't lose sanity without it. That's what's going through my head right now. It's so bizarre. I have 2 of Greg's 3rd skill. Okay, I'd rather not lose vibration compensation, but whatever.
그렇지.
Grinding time.
너는
Yeah!
그렇지.
Is he even gonna get to attack before all these guys die? Oh, he is attacking. I'm at 37 sanity.
좀 벌하지.
Dude's level 35. He got 2 kills, I guess. Huh. This is
당연한 결과죠. 저는
what was his damage percentage?
선택받았으니까. 그렇겠죠?
166. He was also one of 2 people that took damage because I was using counters. I don't know. This is going to go up on Friday. So I trust that if anybody has found out a way to make... It seems like Greg is just going to work generally in a team. In a tremor team. So that'll be fine. A tremor team with somebody else who produces gluttony, perhaps. So that'll be fine. Somebody's got to figure out how to make this Heathcliff work. But I legitimately... This identity feels like an overcorrection to what they did with Sinclair. To me. And I have no idea what to do with it. Like, the one paralyzed from the counters, the only thing I can think that would matter to make any of these skills work. Because you don't lose enough sanity. You have a ton of bulk. Because you're gaining protection equal to your own sinking. But you need to have the sinking, is the problem, so you can't solo the mirror dungeon with this unless you get really lucky. Because he's weak to slash. I have no idea. You probably have to start with spread out, not get hit at all in the first turn, and hope to generate 3 envy. I have no idea. And I'm definitely not going to concern myself with it right now. So if anybody can figure this out, please let me know how in God's name I'm going to get this to work. Because I just don't know. Y'all can mess around with him on my account, obviously. I guess thanks for watching. My luck wasn't terrible with pulling him either. Yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate all of you. As always. Tomorrow, with any luck at all, we're going to have our first part of the next half of the Limbus chapter. So that'll be cool. Until then, consider liking and subscribing because it helps me. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.